Good morning, ladies and gents. Well, actually, so far it hasn't been the best morning for me. Just spent about an hour and a half to 2 hours at yard sales, only bought 2 things. Absolute dud neighborhood sale. I don't know what it was. There was a lot of like old people and antiques and stuff. That's not really my thing. I got this pool for $5 and this puzzle for $3. Those should be a combined profit of, oh, maybe like 30 or 40 bucks. So nothing huge so far this morning. So what I'm gonna do is return to the tried and true. I'm gonna hit some pawn shops in my area that I haven't hit for a while, and maybe even poke my head in this Peddler's Mall across the street. See if I can find some video games, DVDs, Blu-rays, because those have been doing really well for me recently. So let's do this. Well, at first, that first stop was looking pretty bleak. Their prices were pretty on par with eBay and Amazon on all of their games. No decent Blu-rays, really. But then I spied this PlayStation VR set on their back shelf. They had $220 on it, but I actually have done business with these folks before. And so he instantly said I could do $150 plus tax on it for you. And I was like, you know, that's a pretty good deal. I'm going to be able to sell the headset and the camera that came with it for about $225 after fees. And then I also got 2 of these controllers that I'll sell individually, and I would guess get about 60 bucks a piece on them after fees. I haven't actually sold these recently. I think they're still in that range, maybe 50 a piece conservatively, which leaves me with a solid $170, maybe $175 profit on around 160 spent. So I'm super stoked with that. Really nice little pick-me-up on the first stop, especially after those trash yard sales this morning. And I am going to go and experiment a little bit with this Peddler's Mall. I don't tend to find a ton in there, but you never know. So there's definitely no shortage of like cool stuff in here. Ooh, check out those pizza Nikes. So I just looked those Nikes up, and they are selling for like in the 50 to 70 to even up to 90 range. These ones are a little bit dirty and scuffed up, so I'm gonna pass on them. I think there might be some money to be made, but I don't love doing shoes. Oh, hello. So this is $10, and at least in very good condition on Amazon. It seems like it's bringing about 21, so this will actually be a buy for me because that sales rank is not bad at all. Well, hey, not walking out empty-handed. Dang, folks, check this out. Just a ton of Funkos. I'm tempted to scan a whole bunch of them because they seem to be fairly uniformly priced, like 10 bucks, 15 bucks for almost all of them. I don't know if that means these are all commons, or maybe someone just has a bulk source for them and there could be some arbitrage here. So I'm gonna start scanning some and just see what happens. Never liked Funkos anyway. Wow, guys, check this out. Old school Mickey Disney TV, 40 bucks. Honestly, not a bad price. I wouldn't be surprised if that could flip. Yeah, it looks like with the remote, it's going for between 60 and 100. But I don't think this one has the remote, so that's definitely a pass. Not to mention, I would never want to ship that. This place is absolutely massive inside. I'm heading right now to a booth that I know has video games, so fingers crossed for that. So this is the cabinet I was talking about. I was hoping to find some, like, Ken Griffey Jr. N64 games. I don't see any of those. There may be some in a, you know, they have these stacked in a really inconvenient way back here. Maybe there are some in there, but definitely some interesting titles. I'm gonna have to look these 2 up. I think they're priced pretty high. We'll see. Maybe if they're really rare, they're a little bit spiked right now. Then we got some miscellaneous stuff over here as well. All right, so did end up pulling a couple things out of that case. The first one is this sealed beauty for $8. Barbie Riding Camp. Unfortunately, it does have this tiny little break in the seal up there, which is really unfortunate, but I think I should still be able to get 20 plus for this pretty easily on eBay, and I'm all right if I sit on it for a little bit. Wouldn't send that into Amazon in new condition just because of that tiny imperfection. I don't want to piss anyone off. And then I paid $5 for this, and it should go for like 10 or so on Amazon, so not bad. The bad news was that first PS2 game that I got, the X-Man one, I looked at the disc and it was totally scratched, so I had to leave that behind, but still coming away with a couple games at least. All right, so the only other thing I ended up buying in the flea market was this sealed Mythbusters DVD set. Paid 26 bucks. The lowest new one on Amazon right now is $110. I think that's a little inflated, so I'll probably price it at like 70 or 80. More than double my money and, you know, take it and run. At this point, I need to get back into some pawn shops because honestly, that flea market really stresses me out. It overwhelms me. So I'm gonna get back to my bread and butter. Well, folks, I lied about the pawn shop. I rolled up on Matt's Games and Collectibles and just have to poke my head in. Well, folks, Matt's Games is a pretty small store, but honestly, I pretty much come out with something every time I go there. I found a couple games, another copy of Street 3 that is just game only, but for $5, it's going for like 30 or so on Amazon, and I've sold multiple of them. And then we have Wario Land 4, that's going for over 30 before fees, so probably in the $30 range after fees. And I paid $15. And then the last thing that I got was this Nintendo Wi-Fi USB connector. This is actually a solid bolo. I paid $25 for this. The lowest price on Amazon right now in new or used condition is 73 bucks for a $58 gross proceeds. So net, this would be a pretty decent double up. It is a bit of a slower seller, but especially if you guys find this loose or you find it for really cheap, keep an eye out because apparently it sells well. Good old Dan's, let's see what we can find. All right, well, I'm coming out of Dan's discount with a new bolo for you guys, actually. Garden State on Blu-ray. It's a small one, but this goes for around $7 after fees right now on Amazon, and the rank is pretty decent. He said that they were only $2 a piece, so I was like, well, $5 profit, and they'll probably sell fairly quickly. So I picked up 4 of them, plus a Jurassic Park trilogy. This is another great thing to look for, is like video collections. That's something that I've been gravitating to a lot. So this has 3 of them. They are on DVD. And I don't know what I was supposed to pay for this, but for some reason he only quoted me $4.77 for all 5 of these. So I think he was kind of cutting me a deal, especially since I was getting rid of some, you know, a repeat Blu-ray for them. So yeah, less than $1 a piece into all of these. This one is going for close to like 20 or so after fees, I believe, or maybe it was 20 before fees, I can't remember. And then 7 a piece on these, so that's a pretty good score. So here is everything that I bought today all laid out. I spent a total of 300 bucks on everything all in today. Should make just about that back, maybe a little bit more just selling the VR bundle. So that's really solid. One of the things that I didn't actually show, I went to another pawn shop and got this Wii, as well as Skylanders and a couple miscellaneous DVDs and Blu-rays. So after everything, I expect to just about double my money on that stuff, maybe a little bit more. I spent about 7 hours sourcing today, and I'd say it'll probably take me about another 3 to get all of that stuff in there, like tested and packed and shipped and everything like that. So while this day did start super slow, and honestly kind of felt slow all throughout, making around $300 for about 10 hours of work honestly is pretty solid. So before tax, that's an average of about $30 an hour. At my previous best paying job before resale, which by the way I hated, I was making $20 an hour before tax, so even on days like today where it feels kind of slow compared to what I was doing before, I'm just so lucky to be doing what I'm doing right now. To be able to go out and do what I love and hunt for games and buy cool stuff and flip it online and still make a decent amount of money. It just makes me feel so lucky every time I think about it, and I think gratitude is such a huge part of what keeps me motivated and what keeps me positive as a reseller and someone who is self-employed. So I just wanted to share that little glimpse into my psyche with you guys. My burning question of the day is this: do you have a specific favorite source in your town? And what do you like about it? Is there a specific thrift store or pawn shop, or do you have a local connection where either the deals are really good or the selection is great, or maybe you have an in with someone? I would love to hear about those below so that I can be thinking about how to maximize my own location here. And if you guys didn't know, we are getting dangerously close to hitting 1 million subscribers on this channel. So if you're not a part of that elite group, definitely consider subscribing today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the flip.